All right, we are live on YouTube, and tonight we're going to be discussing, does the truth matter to you, or would you rather live in a false sense of reality? So stick around and find out more. All of that and much, much more is coming right. From Northern California, welcome to Navigating the Modern World with Coach Eli. And if this is your first time here, and most importantly, you are open to suggestions and change, please consider subscribing and then banging that bell. And after you bang that bell, when that pop-up box pops up, make sure you select all notifications, because that way you won't miss a single thing. That's right. You will not miss anything at all when it comes to getting a better grip on your life. That is absolutely, positively, 100% correct. We are here, and I am here to help you all get a better grip on your life or your lives, because I know deep within each and every one of you has a lot of greatness locked deep within that you may be afraid to let out. And I'm here to just, tactfully, show you what you're not seeing within yourself, so you can accomplish more of what you were truly meant to be and accomplish whatever it is that your heart desires. All right. Welcome to the show, everyone. Before I get through the rest of the intro here, just going to make sure the notification went out. Notification has gone out. And let me just make sure that things are rolling okay in the back end of YouTube Studio. It looks like everything is rolling quite well, and the stream health is looking great. All right. First things first. Once again, would like to pay props to this channel sponsor, my good friend Troy Brewer, who is the CEO, founder, and owner of the Discover Community Network. For all of your product and service needs from the most trusted professionals in the industry, please consider visiting www.discovercommunitynetwork.com. One more time, www.discovercommunitynetwork.com. You can also visit a subsidiary of the Discover Community Network known as the DCN Internet Radio Network, which stands for, obviously, Discover Community Network Internet Radio Network. How clever, Troy. I love it. And I've been there with you from the very beginning when the radio stations were started, like 8 years ago, right? 7, 8 years ago or something like that. It's been quite some time. And if you go to the website with the internet radio stations, you're going to find a bunch of music stations and a bunch of talk stations. More than likely, one of those music or talk stations is going to suit your genre needs. So check it out. If you love listening to music or talk radio throughout the course of your days, you can listen to it on your computer, or it's mobile friendly as well. You can even, plug in through your car's Bluetooth or your, Apple CarPlay or your Android Auto, and you can listen to the DC Internet Radio Network even while you're driving, and do it safely, right? So if you want to check that out, that's www.dcninternetradionetwork.com. One more time, www.dcninternetradionetwork.com. Both those links are below the description, about a third of the way down. And if you decide to go to those sites and you also find out how to connect with Troy, and you reach out to Troy and send him an email, please do not fail to mention that Coach Eli sends you with lots and lots of love. Lots and lots of love. Got a lot of love for you, Troy. Thank you for continuing to sponsor this channel. You've been a great friend, a great business partner. And I just thank you for your patronage. I just thank you for being an amazing guy and an amazing friend through thick and thin, man. Like, you're the real deal, man. You're the real deal, and I greatly appreciate you and your family and other people that you've connected me with, man. Thank you so much. I greatly appreciate that. Folks, I got to tell you something, man. Sometimes people have a lack of appreciation. They take things for granted, and I'm not going to come out and say I've never taken anything for granted. Of course, I think we all have, but I don't think I've ever intentionally taken things for granted. And if I remember to share one of my stories as part of the topic tonight, I will share with you folks how I took something for granted at one point that I didn't even realize I was taking for granted until it was too late. So stick around for that. Hopefully I won't forget that. I'm kind of going on the fly tonight. I'm going to share some examples here at the beginning of the show regarding the topic. We'll get to that in a second. But I also do have another amazing blog to dissect through from my favorite blog site, Psychology Today. It's very relevant to the topic, and I thought it was very well written, and I want to put my own spin on it and add to it. So that's going to happen during the second half of the show. But the first half, I'm just going to go on the fly and, talk about, what I feel this subject means to me and how important it really is to understand it properly. So, but before we get to that, another thing, just in case you haven't been to my channel in a while or you're new here, all of my streams are publicly available, but my live stream chats for my public live streams have become members only. So if you want to chat in my chat, you can do it one of three ways. You can either become a moderator of the channel. If you want to learn how to become a moderator on my channel, go in the description and find my email, Coach Eli at coacheli@melas.com. Email me and we'll connect, get to know each other. And after I get to know, I can trust you, I may make you a moderator. And that way you'll be able to chat on all my live stream chats for free, whether they're members only or not. Secondly, you can become a member of the channel for as little as $4.99 per month. I do have a total of 5 membership packages ranging from $4.99 to $99.99, which is a super fan sponsor package. All 5 of those packages will get you the exact same thing. It's just up to you how much you can either afford or would like to donate or sponsor this channel. All 5 packages will get you access to members-only chats on my public live streams that are, for members only in the chat section. Down the road, when I end up doing members-only live streams, you'll get exclusive access to those streams with exclusive content. Additionally, I have 21 members-only videos that I have created already, and more to come of those members-only videos. And any unwritten perks that I may throw in from time to time as a bonus, that's what you folks will get. But primarily, the channel membership is just a way for you to show your support for this channel and to allow me to continue giving you this content almost each and every day, if not each and every day. Last but not least, if you do not want to purchase a membership or you're not a moderator, the only other way you can chat is by going to the bottom of the chat where you see that $sign. That is the super chat. You can send one message per super chat. The minimum is $1, except if you're on an iPhone, it's 99 cents. So let's just round it up to $1. Okay. But if you send 5 super chats, throughout the course of a month or a week or even in one stream, why not become a member instead for $4.99 per month and you can chat unlimited? I just wanted to throw that out there. But, the choice is yours. If you just want to send a super chat once per month to sponsor this channel for $1, by getting your message through, that option is there. But either way, as a member or sending super chats, you are still subject to the rules of this channel. I do not want any hate or negativity out here. We're a drama-free zone. We've dealt with a lot of drama here in the past, and we've gotten rid of it. And we're never going to allow it to come back again. And anytime somebody tries to pull a fast one, people have already done it by purchasing a membership for these reasons that I'm mentioning here. We're just going to ban you immediately. And if it's worth it to you to spend $4.99 to get a couple of licks in at me, or $1, during a super chat, then you know what? I'm going to thank you for your donation and send you on your way. That's just what I do, to people that are rude and inconsiderate and just here to disturb the peace and the positivity. This is a drama-free zone and a positive channel to, help uplift people, not bring people down. Okay. So let's see here. Yeah, none of the mods are here tonight. That's okay. We had a bunch of mods that showed up to the stream yesterday, but no problem. So where am I going to start off the show tonight? Like I said, I'm going to share a couple of stories here at the beginning regarding, the topic. Does the truth matter to you, or do you prefer to live in a false sense of reality? One more time. The topic is, does the truth matter to you, or do you prefer to live in a false sense of reality? So a couple of stories that I'm going to share tonight. One of them has to do with what continues to happen regarding the election that took place a few weeks ago. I think it was 3 weeks ago now? And a couple of weeks ago, a week after the election, most of the major news networks, including CNN, Fox, the AP, Associated Press, and many others, it was on Saturday. It was the Saturday after, it was almost a week later. It was the Saturday after the Tuesday of the election. So 5 days later, they projected Joe Biden to be the next president-elect. Since that time, Donald Trump started accusing everyone of cheating, that, the mail-in votes were fraud. The Democrats caused a lot of fraud. And, at the same time, you had the Department of Homeland Security. You had all these security experts saying that this was the most secure election we've ever had in history. And it totally went against Trump's agenda. That didn't make him happy. At the same time, you have the majority of the Trump supporters that still don't want to accept the fact that he lost the election, all because of how, President Trump, has been behaving. He's been behaving erratically because he, at least up until a few days ago, didn't want to accept the fact that he lost. I mentioned on my stream, I believe it was yesterday or the day before. I think it was yesterday. It was yesterday. I remember I was talking to the WrestleMania channel, who's the moderator here, run by a gentleman named Jamie. And I was mentioning that, Trump kind of semi-conceded yesterday, but not really. It was kind of like the equivalent of drinking a light beer instead of a regular beer. Kind of like the commercial that used to go, less filling and tastes great, Trump was kind of saying, okay, yeah, I kind of understand that, I'm not going to find a way to win this. I can't, weasel around anymore. So, it's okay now for the Biden administration to start rolling things ahead with the transition of power, right? So, and then they started that also allowed the release of funds for the transition that any president-elect would have already gotten the moment that he was projected to be the winner. So, the thing that's really gotten to me, and it's really sad. Hey, Lewis Fuller, how you doing, man? Welcome to the show. He says, good evening, everyone. Good evening, Lewis. Glad that you're here, man. Sorry for the late start. By the way, let me apologize for the late start real quick, folks. I started this show about 45 minutes later than the original schedule time. I want to make you aware that a bunch of things came up unexpected. And I've also been working on trying to get my iPhone to record videos properly at 4K 60 frames per second, because I need to go out and re-record a video. I tried recording last week while I was on a walk. I want to show you folks some great 4K footage and start doing more great topics while I'm out in nature so you folks can see the beauty. And I want to do it in 4K at 60 frames per second so you can see video and audio quality. You can see video quality and hear audio quality unlike anything you've heard before. But I figured out that the app I was using, the Movie Pro app, which I bought, I think, for $10 a couple years back, that worked okay. It's just having major syncing issues with the Rode Mini Shotgun microphone that I use on my iPhone for better quality. So I made the switch today to another app. Some of you may have heard of this app. This is the app I recommend if you're going to record off your iPhone or Android. Get the Filmic Pro app. It's $14.99, and it works amazing. On the first try that I did a test recording for about 30 minutes at 4K, 60 frames per second earlier today, the audio and video were perfectly in sync. It perfectly detects the Rode Shotgun microphone. Unlike the Movie Pro app, it detects it as a USB microphone. So that's what happened, and that's why the show was a little bit late today. Lewis Fuller says, me and my family had some bad weather tonight. Sorry to hear about that, man. What's going on? Is it raining over there? Are there tornadoes, hurricanes? Like, what state are you in, bro, if you don't mind? So anyway, getting back to, all the Trump supporters have been living with a false, or living in a false sense of reality. And if you try to question them on their false sense of reality, and you happen to be a liberal like me, I'm a slight left liberal, they come back at me or at any other liberal and they say, well, you're just saying that because you're a liberal. No, I'm not saying that because I'm a liberal. I'm saying that because whether you're a Democrat or Republican or independent or whatever, you behaving that way, anyone behaving that way is living in a false sense of reality. And this is the thing that is going to hurt people from getting ahead and living a happy, positive life. If you're going to live in that much of a false sense of reality, and when you don't get your way, you're going to try to whine like a little baby, like President Trump's been doing, and you're gonna just completely avoid the truth because you don't want to admit defeat, then you know what? Then you're going to be living a sad life. You are. Because part of being a good person in life involves making mistakes or losing certain things and being a gracious loser, being a good sport about it, right? Not being a poor loser, but at the same time, like I mentioned several weeks ago, while I was talking about all this stuff regarding, the election and President Trump's behavior, when your commander-in-chief is acting like a big baby and he's supposed to be setting the example for the entire country, how can I blame all the conservatives that are, sticking up for him, even though it doesn't make sense? I just bumped my pop filter. You see, I ruined it. Oh, boy. Let me fix it here. Give me a second. My apologies. Yeah, sometimes I get a little excited. I bump my pop filter, and then I have to reset it, not only to look good on the screen, but to also sound as best as possible. I've done a lot of testing to get the best possible sound. Yeah, I think we're good there. Okay, yeah, we're good. Yeah, so like I said, when you have the commander-in-chief, who's supposed to set the example, and he sets the example by whining like a little baby because he fairly lost the election and doesn't want to accept it, how can I blame the rest of you as followers, his fellow conservatives per se, for behaving the way you're behaving? But at the same time, what's right is right and what's wrong is wrong. And I have to ask everyone out there, not just these conservatives, that I've been living in a false sense of reality this entire time, thinking that there's been voter fraud and the Democrats screwed things up and we're going to screw things up. I mean, where's your proof to back that up? How can you, some of the things that, and this is the thing, like, I love everybody, right? But a lot of conservatives complain for getting shut down on social media, including out here on YouTube. And they complain that, YouTube and Facebook and Twitter and all these social media companies have the leftist agenda and, they're shutting down conservative speak. No, they're not. There are some conservatives still on the platform, and some liberals have been shut down too. People get shut down that are just ridiculous, that, try to make claims as legitimate that aren't real. And basically, how do I say this? For example, I've heard many things from a lot of these Trump supporters, these conservatives. I've heard them say some pretty crazy things. And then they've told me that there are facts and they have proof about this. I've never seen the proof. And any proof that they may send has been fabricated by the right. So again, in this aspect, before I get to the other aspect that I want to discuss at the beginning of the show, then I'll take a break and then I will come back and get to this incredible blog that's actually titled Growing Up in a False Reality. It's a great, great blog. It's involving primarily kids today are out of touch with themselves, others, and the world around them. But yeah, before I get to the next part here of the beginning of the show, I just got to say this. Like I mentioned at the beginning of this stream, in my intro, I mean, does the truth really matter to you? I'm asking not only you conservatives that have been living in a false sense of reality throughout this, election thing that's been happening in the last several weeks, but anyone in general. Does the truth matter to you, or would you rather live in a false sense of reality and live in your own little world that no one's going to respect or appreciate? Because at the end of the day, this is just my opinion. I'm not criticizing anyone and I'm not attacking anyone. It's just my opinion. At the end of the day, to you conservatives out there that are fighting for Trump, do you think he really cares about you? Or do you think all he cares about is your vote so he can continue to stay in office to do things that best suit him? Like, I just don't understand that. Right? And then one more thing, another, content creator that used to lean more towards the left and now he's more towards the right. His name is Tim Pool. He's a millennial. I think he's in his early to mid 30s. And he voted for Trump. I believe before that he had voted for Obama, but he turned. So when he turned, he noticed that he got a lot more traction because for some reason, this is weird. For some reason, if you're a conservative political channel on YouTube, you get a lot more traction than liberal channels. And I can never understand that. Maybe it's because the conservative channels are more dramatic and conservatives will speak out in ways that are violating guidelines more than the left. So maybe it's more entertaining for people to watch conservative channels. Maybe that's why, Tim went the other way. I don't know. That's up to him. It doesn't matter to me. But here's the thing. Lately, Tim, before, the past few days, Tim was saying, well, there's still a chance for Trump to win these lawsuits and this and that, but it's highly unlikely, right? Now Tim's saying that, there's really no chance left. There's no chance left for Trump. And it's time to accept it and move forward. And he's getting attacked for that. And he's even saying, he's like, it's like people are coming at me for saying this, but I got to speak the truth. I got to speak with what's actually happening, not what I wish would be happening. So in essence, Tim Pool is choosing to, live his truth and be truthful and present his material for the most part in honest and ethical ways, whether they suit his or his audience needs or not. See, when you're running a political commentary channel like that, it's not about pleasing your audience because they're conservative or liberal. It's about speaking the truth of all sides. And at the end of the day, we're all Americans, so we all should be one and united anyway, right? It's just about speaking the truth about what happened, not trying to go against the agenda of your audience or, what you wish it could have turned out in your eyes. Tim wished that Donald was reelected. He didn't get reelected. He realizes that, Trump has pretty much no chance. All these court cases are getting thrown out, right? And because he shares the truth, he gets blasted by his audience that's primarily conservative, right? Why? Because those people continue to live in a false sense of reality. That's it. That's the bottom line. You folks continue to want to live in a false sense of reality. And if that's where you want to be, then you can be happy on your own, because the majority of normal, decent people like to live in the present and live in the now, live in the truth. Anyway, I've said enough of that. We are at 26 minutes. Now, I'm going to share one more story here regarding, does the truth matter, or do you prefer to live in a false sense of reality? I've kind of shared this story in the past, but I'm going to share it again because I'm sure most of you people that are watching my content now haven't heard it. If you're not aware, some of you that have followed me for a while know that, a few years back, like a little over 4 years ago, I met an amazing woman online. And I still think she's an incredible woman to this day. And, a lot of my trolls and haters, I know they still kind of watch me. They're thinking, oh, he's still not over her, this and that. No, I'm over her. I just still have a lot of respect for her. And most importantly, I have respect for myself to the point of where I can come out and share some examples of what I've been through or went through with her in a respectful way. And that's all it is. Because I'm strong enough within myself to do that. So I met an amazing woman 4 years ago, a little over 4 years ago. And it was during a time where I had just gotten out of a previous relationship with a woman that, with a woman that had cheated on me. So the point of the matter is, I had taken 6 months off from the previous relationship, and I thought I was ready when I met my ex. Okay. When I met, this ex, this last ex, this was the previous ex before this woman that I just met a little over 4 years ago, my last girlfriend. And so I decided to put myself out there, and because this woman had such a high level of attraction for me, and it was an instant connection between the both of us, it was kind of a little bit scary to me because I didn't want to totally rush into it, but I wanted to just put myself out there. But she really liked me, and she, just was very communicative with me, did a lot of nice things for me in the beginning. And I will be honest, and I've said this before, I'll say it again. The first 3 months of that relationship lasted, I think it was a year and a half, closer to 2 years almost. The first 3 months of that relationship, yes, I had great times with her. And yes, I enjoyed my time with her. But I was like, at the point of where if this relationship ends anytime during this if it had ended anytime during that 3-month period, it wouldn't have fazed me at all. It wouldn't have. It wouldn't have, because, I was living in a false sense of reality. I'll be honest with you. And it wasn't that I wasn't trying to live the truth or be truthful, but I was still hurt from my ex. And I didn't even realize it. And when I realized it after I started spending time with my ex, I didn't want to tell her that, because then, I didn't want to hurt her. It wasn't even about me getting dumped or getting hurt at that point. At the end of the day, I care about people, and I knew my ex was such an amazing person, and she had been through a lot in the past, and she gave me a chance, and it's like, I just don't want to hurt this woman, even though I'm not fully invested in this yet. I don't want to hurt her. And the first 3 months went by. It got to the 4th month. By the time the 4th and 5th month came, I started becoming more and more invested. At that point, it became the point of no return. And there are some things that whenever I'm dating somebody new, I always tell them everything about my situation, my financial situation, everything, right? But I didn't do that with my ex because, like I said, the first 3 months, I wasn't as invested because of what happened in my past relationship. And I was in my own little world, living a false sense of reality. I didn't feel the need to share all that because I quite honestly thought the relationship wouldn't last with her. I thought it was going to be something temporary, even though I wanted something long-term, and so did she. I just knew I wasn't in the right mindset, and, maybe it took starting to date someone new at that point to get over my ex, which I don't recommend anyone doing that, but I will admit, even myself as a coach, went through that. And I learned my lesson from that as well. Because what ended up happening, after, month 3, month 4, month 5 came, I became more invested. At that point, I started getting feelings for her, and I started getting to the point of where if she left me, then I would be hurt, right? So at that point, I felt comfortable, like, okay, maybe I should tell her about, a few things that really aren't that big of a deal, but at least I should tell her, right? Well, the things that the one main thing that I feared telling her, and I've gone public on this before, I'll go public on it again. A little over 11 years ago, I filed for bankruptcy. Now, I've long recovered since that point. The bankruptcy came off my record as of last year, a little over a year ago, because they're on your record for 10 years, and my credit's perfect again. And I recovered financially right away. I just had a lot of credit card debt that I had to file bankruptcy to get rid of because I made a stupid mistake when I was with a girlfriend, over 11 years ago. It was a girlfriend during that time, and we were supposed to get married, and she was going through some stuff, and I helped her out, and it's just a long story. It put me in a massive amount of debt to the point of where it would have taken me probably 5-6 years to pay it off, especially with the cost of living out here in the Bay Area. So, I filed bankruptcy. That was the right thing to do, and it clears out your debt. You get bad credit, but then you start to rebuild it, and now it's all back, right? And I wanted to tell her that at the point of month 4, month 5, but at that point I was like, I'm in this 5 months now. I may not have been that emotionally invested the first 3 months because I was still kind of getting over my ex, and it wouldn't have mattered to me if it ended at that point. But when month 4, month 5 came, I started spending more time with her family and her kids and her grandma and other friends of hers. I started getting more and more invested. I started feeling like I was a part of her friends and family. And at that point, I'll be honest, It was, I'll be honest, it was one of the few insecurities I've had in my 40s. And being insecure about anything as a man, as a grown man, especially in your 40s, is unattractive. It's very unattractive. It is. But it was an insecurity that if I were to tell her at that point that she would have left me at the point of where I started getting invested, and then I would be hurt. Well, at that point, the truth in my mind should have mattered, but it didn't. I was living in a false sense of reality because that's the position I put myself into the way I started that relationship. And it wasn't that I didn't care about this woman or didn't enjoy my time with her or didn't like being around her. I was very attracted to her. I enjoyed everything. I just still had not gotten over my ex that had cheated on me, and I should have waited a little bit longer to start dating again. I should have taken another 6 months off. What ended up happening? Well, a year and a half later, she found out the truth about that. And, there were some other things that I'm not going to get into. Some of the people that have been following me for a while, they know the story. But the bottom line is this, is that, folks, the truth matters. If you want to have a happy, positive, and decent life, get along with people and not have to deal with heartache and breakups and things going the opposite way. You have to be honest within yourself. You have to value the truth, and the truth needs to matter to you. If you're going to live in a false sense of reality, more often than not, or if you live in a false sense of reality all the time, I'm telling you, at some point it's going to come back to bite you in the ass. It is. And it's going to continue to bite you until you start being more truthful and realize that no matter how hard it may be to share the truth with certain people, you should never hold back the truth from people that you care about or you're emotionally invested into, and they are into you, such as a relationship partner. So I learned my lesson. I share this story again tonight because, I really don't want you folks to go through what I've been through. I want you folks to learn from my mistakes. Now, I'm sure some of you made the same mistakes as well, or the same mistake, right? But again, I share these stories and I come here and I publicly, state all of this because I want you folks to know that there is a better way to handle it. You don't always have to live in a false sense of reality to get what you want. If you think you're going to get what you want, living in a false sense of reality, you might get it for a little while, but once the truth comes out, you're going to lose what you gained while you were in a false sense of reality. So why don't you just take the time to work on accomplishing whatever you want to accomplish by being truthful. It may take you longer to get what you want instead of not being truthful or living in a false sense of reality to get what you want, but it's going to be more sustainable long term if you do it that way. And I've said that time and time again, and I'll continue saying that over and over again. But all right, folks, so we are at 38 minutes. What I'm going to do is I'm going to, give me a second here. I'm going to cue up some royalty-free YouTube music. Give me a second. Okay, sorry, I just thought I had a text there. So I'm going to cue up some royalty-free YouTube music, and I'm sorry, I'm just getting distracted here. The iPhone is going crazy tonight. And when I get back, we're going to dissect this really, really good blog called Growing Up in a False Reality, written by Victoria L. Dunkley, MD. And her company is called Mental Wealth. So let me get the music all queued up here. Let me get the music all queued up here. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. What do I want to play? All right, folks, gonna step away for a 5 to 7 or 8 minute break, and like I said, when we come back, we're gonna get to that block. So stick around. We'll be right back. you to feel it with me. Feel it with me. Do not live in a false sense of reality. If I can get one thing through to you tonight, living in a false sense of reality is not going to get you anywhere. It's going to get you stuck. And you're going to be stuck for a long time until you snap out of it. Snap out of it. Snap out of it, right? You got to snap out of it. Snap out of it, right? Ding, 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 ding. Yeah. Yeah. Feel it. Sometimes you just got to take a break and just feel it and move to the rhythm and the beat and shake it all out. And that way you can restart, refresh, and start all over and get back on track to creating greatness regarding whatever you want to create greatness in. You all have greatness deep within you. You just have to unlock it, and that's what I'm here to do. I'm here to help you unlock your greatness. Woo. Yeah. Whoo, yeah. All right. Welcome back. I did the back a little too soon. Let's try that again. Welcome back to Navigating the Modern World with Coach Eli live here on YouTube, and I've got an itch. I've got an itch on my lip, on my nose. Sorry, a little unprofessional, but I keep it real. That's an itch for good luck. Welcome back to the show, folks. Live here on YouTube. It is 11:12 p.m. Eastern Time, 8:12 p.m. Pacific Time here in my neck of the woods. I'm in the San Francisco Bay Area. And I got to tell you, folks, things have been getting very interesting lately in many aspects. There's a lot of great content coming to this channel soon. I do want to mention that, I will be getting that 4K video in 60 frames per second recorded tomorrow. I mentioned it briefly earlier in the show, but in case you missed it, I'm going to be recording it tomorrow. I've had some technical difficulties because an app that I've used for many years is not working the same way now on the latest version of iOS, which is 14 on the iPhone. And so I had to switch to another app. I tried it out earlier today, and it seems to be working fine. I was having syncing issues between audio and video. And who's going to want to watch a video where you see a beautiful, you see beautiful video at 4K 60 frames per second, but the audio is out of sync by 30 seconds. So the audio is like 30 seconds, behind. It's just horrible. So I've got the fix, and we'll be recording that video tomorrow, and it should be released probably by sometime on Friday or Saturday. When you're recording an hour and 20-minute video at 4K 60 frames per second, it's a huge 27 gigabyte file. You have to edit it, that takes time. You have to render it, that takes time. You have to upload it to YouTube with my fiber line. That'll take no time, but then it takes time to process through the YouTube system. And 4K videos take that big of a file is going to take at least a day to process. I mean, it'll process up to 1080p very fast within an hour or so or less. But then to process in 4K, it's going to take about 24 hours. So just making you folks aware, in case you've been wondering, where that video is. Some of you that have been following me for a while are waiting for that video. It will be coming soon. And once I get that hour and 20-minute or so video out, I will be creating probably a couple of videos, 2 or 3 videos while I'm taking my walks or while I'm out of the studio here in the future. They won't be as long. They'll be probably 15, 20 to 30 minutes each because that way they'll take less time to process and I can get them out there much more quickly. But I wanted to do my very first video at 4K 60 frames per second in a great length, because where I'm going to be shooting this video, there's just a lot of beautiful scenery. It's a beautiful path. There's a lot of beautiful water right along the San Francisco Bay. And I want to show you folks the great quality that's coming to this channel. I mean, I know these streams here are 1080p, which is not bad, but the great quality that's going to come to this channel outside of these in-studio streams. I want to give you folks something different. I want to give you folks something awesome to look at, but also something great to listen to and learn from as well. So stick around. That's coming very soon. I just wanted to be very transparent and update you folks regarding that. Okay. I think there may have been one more thing I wanted to say before I get to this blog, but I cannot remember. So I'm just going to get to it here in a second. But the topic of tonight's stream, once again, in case you're just joining us, is: does the truth matter to you, or do you prefer to live in a false sense of reality? One more time. Does the truth matter to you, or do you prefer to live in a false sense of reality? Now I know what I wanted to say. It was pertaining to the title. So once I read it, it magically popped back into my head. That's great. That's great. One other example of where I was living in a false sense of reality in my younger days, I've shared this story many times, but I'll share it again because it pertains to this topic. A lot of my stories pertain and bring value to many different topics that I do that are very important to learn as life principles. And this goes back to my teens and 20s where, I never could admit I was wrong about anything in front of my friends and my family. And, my friends knew when I was BSing them or wrong about something, and they would always call me out and I would always challenge them, kind of like what Donald Trump has been doing to this election, and kind of like how, Trump's supporters have been responding to it in a way that, they're living a false sense of reality. I was living in a false sense of reality where I didn't want to admit the truth. I tried to convince myself, or I had convinced myself, that what was actually wrong that I was doing was actually right. But my friends knew that what I was doing was wrong. And maybe deep within I knew too, but I basically had convinced myself that I couldn't be wrong about anything. And when you live in that deep of a denial and that deep of a false sense of reality, let me tell you, most people won't want to be around you. You're going to repel a lot of people. Now, my friends didn't give up on me because they're my good friends, but they kept on calling me out. They kept on calling me out over and over and over again over the years until I finally snapped out of it in my mid-20s for the most part, and completely by the beginning of my early 30s. So I learned to be more truthful. I learned I learned how to, accept my faults. I learned how to admit my faults and to apologize for my faults, learn from them and move forward. Instead of continuing to live in a false sense of reality that would have probably destroyed my life. And I share these stories, folks, once again, like I mentioned earlier, before the break, I share these stories because I truly want all of you to be happy and create greatness in any way that you want. I truly want each and every one of you to succeed in all aspects of life. That's why I share these stories. Some of you may enjoy personal development and these stories. Others may think this is the most boring thing on the planet. To the people out there that think this is the most boring thing on the planet, no disrespect, you have a lot of work to do on yourselves, because if you don't understand how important these principles are and how much they can help better you to become a better person so you can create better greatness, not only for yourself but other people, then, until you're able to identify that and help yourself, no one's going to ever be able to help you. I had to learn that the hard way myself. I had to figure out in my younger days that what my friends were saying about me BSing them was right. And after I heard it time and time again, I finally snapped out of it and I said, you know what? You guys are right. I'm sorry. I've always wanted to be the best at things. I just don't like making mistakes. It's not that I, am not capable of making mistakes. It's just that I just don't want to make mistakes. I want to live a positive, perfect life. At the same time, my friends, you made me realize that nobody's perfect. And part of living a good life is making mistakes and learning from them, accepting them, owning them, working through them, moving past them, and not letting them bring you down. That's it. That's the bottom line. Anyway, let's go ahead and get to this blog here. Let's go over to the browser source. I was able to fix the transition. It should transition smoothly. What happened to it? What the heck happened to it? Well, there it is. I thought I had fixed it earlier. Give me a second here. This is crazy. It was working fine before the show. Give me a second here. All right, let me just see here real quick. Let me see here. Okay, I'm going to try that transition one more time. From full screen to the browser screen. All right, much better. Okay, I think we're good now. All right, folks. The topic or the title of this blog is "Growing Up in a False Sense of Reality." It was written by Victoria L. Dunkley, MD, with the company Mental Wealth. And it was written on May 20th, 2017. So about, 3.5 years ago or so. Still pretty current. Still pretty current. And below the title, it says, kids today are out of touch with themselves, others, and the world around them. One more time. That is huge. Kids today are out of touch with themselves, others, and the world around them. So there it says, this guest post is by Cindy Eckert, a Maryland parent who has spearheaded legislation in her state to create medically sound safety guidelines for the use of digital devices in public schools. This is very interesting. Many people are focused on reducing screen time for children. Yeah, these kids nowadays are born with an iPhone or Android in their hands. And that's how they're raised. They're raised with a digital device. They're not being raised with traditional morals, values, and ethics. Parents can just hand them a device. They can hand their kids a device to keep their kids occupied while they spend some romantic time, with each other, right? But is that the right thing to do? Are digital devices replacing the human touch, the human connection? Has it already happened? Yeah. And we wonder why people are turning out the way they're turning out nowadays, right? I'm one of those people. The health risks are enormous. I'm one of those people too. We all are. We all are addicted to these things, man. I tell you, I gotta tell you, this is an awesome phone. Like, look at this thing. It's an awesome phone. Okay? It's a beautiful phone. This is the best smartphone. I don't care what anyone says. This beats the Samsung Galaxy Note 20 in my opinion. Beautiful phone. And it's fast. Launches my apps. I can check email quick. I can quickly check things every so often and then put it down and enjoy several hours without having to look at it. The health risks, are enormous for our kids in a variety of ways, from their vulnerable, undeveloped eyes. Yeah, a lot of eye strain and stuff. Your eyes are developing at a young age. More and more kids are probably going to be wearing glasses or contacts because they're going to have eye strain and they're going to have issues with their eyes at a younger age. To their growing bodies and minds, right? Like I said a second ago, they're not being taught traditional morals, values, and ethics from a human. They're learning that from a digital device. Now, it takes humans to create videos on those digital devices. But what's the best way to raise your kids? Is the best way to raise your kids to give them a device and have them watch videos on how to be a good kid and how to treat others? Or you, as the parents, show your kids that by leading by example? That's just a food for thought right there. And while I am the first to advocate for schools and parents to limit the amount of time our children spend on digital devices per se, I am also growing increasingly convinced that our emotive relationships with these machines, which correlates to screen time, needs more exploration. So she's convinced that our emotive relationships with these machines need more exploration. And earlier she says we need to limit time on these devices. Well, the iPhone, and I'm sure the Android operating system, has the same thing. The iPhone, you can actually lock it out after certain times. If you're a parent, you can program your child's iPhone to only work during certain times. I'm sure you can do that on Android too. But most parents don't do that because then they're going to have whiny kids, right? But think about it. When your kid goes to bed at night and they have this smartphone, how do you not know they're not up until 1 or 2 in the morning texting someone from school or texting a friend or a boyfriend or girlfriend, right? How do you not know that? Just them having that device wide open, you have no idea what they're doing. How do you not know they're not going to, X-rated sites that they're not supposed to go to because you haven't locked down that phone enough? Now, if these kids want to find that content, they will, but there are things parents can do to make it more difficult and to minimize that. Maybe you make a rule in your household that the cell phones don't go to bed with you. You drop off the cell phones in the kitchen in the box, and you pick it up in the morning before you go to school. You can have it, until bedtime. Before bedtime, you come down, you drop off the phone, and there's no phone in the room. Maybe you do that. So anyway, let me see here. What psychological needs are these digital devices filling? That's a great question. And what price is being paid when they dominate our lives? Well, in my opinion, the psychological needs that these digital devices are filling, they're filling voids for people. They're filling, the voids of people that are too insecure to go out in the real world and connect with people and bond in person. These devices nowadays have even taken the dating world completely online initially, instead of meeting people traditionally in person, which would be much easier, because if people still met the traditional way, you would know, like if you were at a bar or a club or church or a social event, and you were talking to a woman, you could immediately ask her out. She could say yes or no, and you would know at that point, right? You would know at that point. But because many people fear rejection, and even in the real world, they're too afraid to ask somebody out, they can now go on a smartphone, get on the dating app, and ask multiple people out. And they don't have to fear rejection because only people that are interested will respond. But what is that teaching you? It's not teaching you how to handle rejection well. So while you're getting a false sense of, understanding, this on the smartphone, when you go to handle this in real life and you get rejected in real life, you're not going to know how to handle it. It's going to hurt you, and it may get you to react in ways that, if you had learned how to handle it because your parents taught you the right way, not from a digital device, you would know how to handle it better, and you wouldn't flip out. You wouldn't overreact. That's part of the issue. And what price is being paid when they dominate our lives? I totally understand. I totally understand. So anyway, give me just a second here. Okay. Not long ago, I reluctantly signed up for a social media account recognizing the efficiency of that medium for instantly reaching large targeted audience. Yeah. So now, instead of going out there and meeting people in person like I used to do, I used to network in person all over Northern California for 6-7 years to build my former insurance business. I went and shook a lot of hands, kissed a lot of babies, figuratively speaking, that is on the babies. But I did meet some babies. Some people had kids, and I would talk with people in person. That there was nothing like that. It was a great time. It was amazing. I met other business owners, created power partnerships, created a huge referral base, and it was great. Now, that's all gone online. And now, in order to get a big following online, you got to do some stupid things to get a big following online. I'm not saying everyone has to do stupid things. You can get a large following by just being you. It takes a lot more work. But now you can go online and put, a selfie of yourself on Instagram. If you're a woman, you could kind of give a side angle shot of your butt and your chest, right? And then all of a sudden you got 10,000 followers. It's pretty pathetic in my opinion, but it works, right? Same thing with guys. They could, have a six pack and put up a shirtless picture and get 10, 20,000 followers just like that, right? In real life, if you went and did that, what would that do for you? Nothing. But when you put that on Instagram or you put that on Facebook or wherever, you get instant attention. That's what our kids are growing up with nowadays. So I can't blame, the person that wrote this article here. Growing up in a false reality. That's what's happening. Not long ago, I reluctantly signed up for a social media account recognizing the efficiency of that medium for instantly reaching large targeted audiences. I think I just said that. Because I was pursuing the passage of specific statewide legislation, the timeliness of the messaging was important to me to educate stakeholders and mobilize political support as quickly as possible. You had a good reason to be on there. Like, if you use social media for the right reasons, no problem. But if you're using social media as a complete replacement of the way you hang out with friends, like I used to hang out with friends when I was, younger, in my younger days, then that's not healthy at all. It's not. Nothing wrong with being on social media. Nothing wrong with putting pictures out there and, going out with your friends, taking pictures, checking in on Facebook, putting pictures out there of your fun times. But in order to get those types of pictures, you got to go out and hang out with people instead of just staying at home all the time and just talking to people on your smartphone, and not even talking to them on the phone, talking to them through a messaging app like Snapchat or WhatsApp, right? Or texting through iMessage or just regular text messaging, right? Or through email, right? Or let's FaceTime. Ooh, I like that one. Let's FaceTime. No, let's not. How about we hang out in person? No, I want to FaceTime before I hang out with you. I just want to have a FaceTime. Why? Because you want to make sure I'm not catfishing you? Come on. I've already put enough pictures of me online. You know what I look like. You don't believe me. If you're that picky, then you know what? Let's just not meet, right? But no, it sounds like she had a reason to, promote a certain aspect on social media. Social media is a great way to promote things as long as you're doing it for the right reasons and you're not out there just stirring up drama and trying to get attention by putting up half-naked photos of yourself. You know what I mean? So, let me check out the chat here real quick. Okay, nobody in the chat. We're going to keep going. Let me see how much more we have because I may have to take another break before I get through this. Oh yeah, I'm going to be definitely taking another break. I'm going to go through another 3 paragraphs, and then I'm going to take another break here. With nearly the same speed that my messages were being sent, my own need to know how my messages were being received emerged. So you were wondering how effective, it was regarding, the messages you sent, right? Okay. I think we all, feel that way. If we're going to put effort into social media to try to promote something, we want to get a response. I come out here on YouTube because, number one, I love what I do and I want to help you. But number two, I do hope to continue building my audience because the more audience I build, the more people I can help. Not only will that make my business more successful, I will help more and more people become successful as well. It was remarkable how quickly I felt compelled to look at my hit count or check for messages. Right. I'm going to be honest with you folks. I'm not saying I do this 24 hours, 7 days a week, but I will literally check my YouTube views on the YouTube Studio app typically every 3 hours. Now, all my notifications, this is what I suggest for people to do. Make sure you have all your notifications individually popping up on your iPhone or your Android. I believe the iPhone now groups them all together. You have an option of ungrouping them. I ungroup all of mine. So if I get 10 messages from Twitter, it's going to show me 10 lines of Twitter. And I prefer to have that because I can quickly scroll through my lock screen on my new notifications and quickly see if something needs immediate attention or if something's even worth responding to at all. So I maximize my time and minimize my time on the phone by having all notifications go to the lock screen ungrouped so I can quickly scroll through. If my brother texts me, my mother texts me, sure, I'll get back to them almost right away. Okay? If I get an email, I'll see that. Okay? If it requires an urgent response, I'll get back to it. If not, I'll get back to it later. If it's something that doesn't require a response, great. Okay, I've already filtered through all that, right? So yeah, I understand that, you're compelled to check, how well you're doing. There's nothing wrong with that. So far, nothing wrong with that. As long as you don't get caught up on your phone all day for all aspects of life. This sounds like a business thing to me, which most businesses have gone online anyway, so nothing wrong with this. Hit that bar and get that pellet. No pellet, hit the bar again. Pellet, good pellet, hit the bar. How many people reacted to my message? So I think what she's saying is keep refreshing to see if the numbers have changed, right? That's what I'm assuming she's saying, because that's what I've done that a time or two in the past. Like when I release a new video, I'll look at how it's doing the first hour. I'll admit sometimes it is pretty addicting, right? But I think that's pretty normal. I think when it becomes abnormal is when you immerse yourself in this phone 24/7 to the point of when, let's say, you meet someone from a dating app and you're hanging out and you like each other, and while you're hanging out, you're both more on your smartphones than actually enjoying each other's company. You got to balance it out. How many people reacted to my message? That's it. Send another message. Get another pellet. Oh, yeah. Validation-seeking behavior, right? I want to keep sending messages till somebody validates me with a response, right? Right. I get it. I get it. All right. It quickly became evident that I was drawn back to the computer with growing frequency and increased emotional investment. You're getting addicted, huh? You said you were drawn back to the computer with growing frequency. Maybe you used your smartphone to send those messages or to put postings, or maybe you initially made the posting from your laptop or desktop, which would be easier in most cases. Then you got on your phone and you started seeing some responses or lack of responses. So then you probably said, I'm going to go back to the desktop, which is easier to, put more messages out there quicker, get more messages out there quicker, because I'm not getting as much response as I thought I would get. I'm kind of confused with what she means by this, but that's what I think. That's just my interpretation. If my message was well received, I felt validated. Oh, here we go. Here we go. If my message was well received, I felt validated, vindicated, wow, and smart. Well, here's the thing. This is no disrespect. This is a female, and it is normal for women to seek validation all the time. It is not normal for men to seek validation. But even even after a certain point, too much validation-seeking behavior can be very, very unhealthy for women as well. So, wow. If my message was well received, I felt validated, vindicated, and smart. Sounds awesome, right? Sounds like you're living the life, aren't you? And if my message was ignored, it was certain proof that no one cared about the things that interested me the most, and I felt isolated. Here's the thing. I used to kind of think that way when I first came out here on YouTube. Now, I haven't checked out the stats on my stream. I know I'm not getting the numbers I used to get because I got rid of an entire drama group, and I'm back to rebuilding my audience of real people that really want to be here. And right now, I only have 4 people here on this live stream, and maybe 2 of them are trolls. Who knows? It doesn't matter to me because I know at some point it's going to get somewhere because I keep pushing forward. And I don't worry about the lack of low numbers anymore because I know that my time will come when the time is right, as long as I keep pushing forward. But if I quit and I stop, that's when there's no chance of it going anywhere. None. So, to me, I don't need validation to do what I do. I don't feel the need to be validated. I do what I do because I love what I do. And I know if I keep doing what I do, and I know it's a positive thing that can help a lot of people at some point, the audience will build itself. It may take a while, but it will get there. But I no longer sit around. I used to do this just like this lady's saying. Let me tell you, it gets old. Sitting around waiting for people to validate you, waiting for people to respond, I don't even think about it anymore. I show up, I do my show because I love what I do, and I keep moving forward. And I don't worry about the numbers. I don't. The numbers will take care of themselves in the way that they were meant to take care of themselves. And if they never grow past this point of 4 viewers right now, then that's okay. That's okay. If only 4 people want to watch me for the rest of my life, then that's okay. That's okay. Not a big deal. It is what it is. Anyway, let's continue. So I'm going to read down to here, then take another break. This from a grown woman with a lifetime of professional communications and technology expertise. So it sounds like you're an introverted woman that lacks experience, lacks the social skills, is what I'm trying to say. I'm not saying that you can't go to work and get along with coworkers, but it sounds like you're an introverted type of person. That's my guess. Could be wrong. But you said this from a grown woman with a lifetime of professional communications and technology experience. Okay? I mean, maybe you're introverted. Maybe you're a tech geek that's extroverted. I'm a tech geek that's extroverted. That's rare. But that's like the best of both worlds, because I'm the kind of guy that can, upgrade a computer, build a computer. I'm tech savvy, right? I'm as smart as a geek, maybe even smarter. That's just my opinion. At the same time, I'm a cool dude. I take care of myself. I think I'm decent looking. I'm a lot of fun to be with. I'm not a boring guy. When I'm dating a woman, I take care of her in all ways. I got a good balance, right? And I'm also confident and sure of myself in a non-selfish way, to the point of where I don't need constant validation or validation at all to continue doing what I do. I do what I do because I love what I do. It's the bottom line. And if I don't get a response right away, or it takes a long time to get a response or build an audience, so be it. I'm not going to stop being me ever. I'm not going to let the court of public opinion or the digital world and its numbers define who I am. That's what most people do. That's the sad part. That's why most people fail, because they let the court of public opinion, the numbers of social media, define their relevance. Give me 1 second, folks. All right, so I can hardly imagine the emotional roller coaster that many children are now experiencing. Well, I don't know if I'd call it a roller coaster. I'd say that's what they're being taught. That's all they know. When they're born with these devices in their hands, and now in school they're learning from iPads and iPhones and computers and all that stuff. When that's what they're using all day and they're born with that in their hands, what do you expect them to know? They're not learning any principles outside of the digital world. They're learning to live their lives dependent on, technology, dependent on these devices, these digital devices. It is very easy to see how cyberbullying has become such a crisis, since our children's self-esteem is now hinging on uncontrollable virtual approval and invisible shifting, unpredictable digital feedback. It's hard to control what's being said on digital platforms. Now, do most platforms, including YouTube, moderate their stuff and remove bad stuff? Sure. But in many cases, this is where the problem arises, folks. You got to understand, if somebody posts something on Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, it's not going to be taken down right away, even if it's flagged right away. Now, Facebook typically will look at things and take them down within 15 minutes to an hour. They're the quickest. YouTube could take days, weeks, or never take these down. That's just YouTube. What I'm saying, let's take Facebook, for example. Somebody from, your kid's school posts a derogatory picture of your child, right? Something very personal, right? Posts it on Facebook, right? It's live and public on Facebook for everyone in the whole world to see. You go and flag that immediately. It's going to take a minimum of 15 minutes for somebody at Facebook to review it and then decide whether they're going to remove it or not, which they probably would remove it. But what can happen in the meantime while that post is up? People can download the picture, they can screenshot the picture and the posting, and then next thing you know, what happens? What happens? All these kids, have each other's, text messaging set up in groups, right? There are group text messages, right? They say, oh, did you see what's posted on Facebook? Oh, it was taken down. Somebody flagged it, but I got it. I screenshot it. Here, let me send it to the whole group, right? So even if you get it removed from social media right away, somebody has a copy of it, and they're continuing the cyberbullying long after it's been removed. And this all happened to me out here on YouTube as a grown adult for the last 4 years until I realized there's only one way. There's only one way to combat it. There's only one way to get past it and to be able to, do what you need to do. You got to ignore it. You just ignore it. I've had all these people cyberbully me in my 40s here on YouTube. I put my real name and show my face, right? They look at my information. They sometimes will blow up my phone off the hook, right? But what do? They try to do that sometimes while I'm live on the air. What do? I have my phone on silent. It doesn't vibrate, right? And it doesn't ring, right? And you know what? I'll glance at my phone every few minutes to see if an important message comes through. And sometimes I'll see people crank calling my phone while I'm live on the air. And I'll tell you what, I ignore it because it's not a big deal. I don't let it get to me. I don't let it bother me. You got to learn how to just ignore these people and continue moving forward and do whatever you can to block them on your phone, on your YouTube channel, Facebook, LinkedIn. You got to block them and ignore them. That's all you can do. Same with the kids. Okay? But it's harder for kids because they're younger and they're inexperienced. I'm 46 years old. So I've got more life experience to be able to handle something like this more maturely. And I'm going to have a lot more emotional self-control than, a boy that's 8 years old or a girl that's 8 years old, right? So you're dealing with that as well. But I think what parents need to do to teach their kids on how to handle this is to let them know that, hey, you're going to have some people that are going to do some crazy things. If it happens, let me know. We can talk about it. I can help you work through it, but don't let it bother you. Just ignore it and move on. That's all you can do. Because here's the thing. If you don't ignore it and move on, if you feed into it, they're going to keep coming at you because you're giving them what they want. It's kind of like pouring more gasoline on the fire. That's exactly what it is. The validation we all crave is now seemingly only available to our kids in an artificial way. Right, because you the parents are getting kids these smartphones at a very young age. Now, you do it primarily because you can keep in touch with them and it's more of a safety thing. But in addition to giving them a phone for that, they can download all these apps, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, WhatsApp, whatever, right? Snapchat, whatever, TikTok, whatever, right? They can browse the web. They can add their email accounts to the email program of the particular device. They can take pictures, video in 4K at 60 frames per second, like I've been talking about, right? You're in essence giving them a portable computer that was meant to be a phone where you call people and you talk with them voice to voice. These smartphones still have a main purpose of dialing 7 digits. Well, now you have to add area code in all areas, 10 digits, right? The area code plus 7 digits, and then you have a voice-to-voice call. Now people don't even want to have a voice-to-voice call. They're like, let's FaceTime, like I said earlier. I'll just call you direct. Well, you don't want to FaceTime me? No, because I've had a long day. I'm kicking back on my couch and I look like crap, and I really don't feel like showing my face right now. It's not that I'm not an attractive person. I'm just not presentable right now, and I'm tired after a long day at work, and I just want to talk voice to voice. You've seen my pictures. If you want me to, go and get dolled up for an hour, which I wouldn't do that. I'm just being sarcastic, but what do you want me to do? Get dolled up for an hour and then come back and we'll FaceTime? No, you don't have to get dolled up. Just show me the way you are. Well, let's just talk on the phone, voice to voice. These things were made to make phone calls, but they have the phone call portion is an app. It's an app. There are no actual buttons to press. The phone pad is an app. It's a digital keypad to dial the number. I think I've said enough about when the blog author said, the validation we all crave is now seemingly only available to our kids in an artificial way. Even their grades are impersonally emailed to them. Right. Because they don't want to waste paper to mail stuff out anymore. They email you your grades now, or they put it on a web server. Now, I get that it saves trees, no problem. Oh, another thing, I still have my insurance licenses, even though I no longer sell insurance. Effective a few years ago, they no longer mail you out a copy of your renewal certificate for your license. You download it online. When you renew, you download it. And if you want to print it and show it off, then you print it out. You no longer get that nice gold fancy foil sticker, right? It's a digital version of it, right? One more time, even their grades are impersonally emailed to them. No more dirty looks or pats on the back from their teachers. Wow. Wow. All right, folks. I'm going to step away for another break here. Another 5 to 7 or 8 minute break. Then I'm going to come back and I'm going to finish up this blog. It was quite long. I didn't know it was going to take 3 breaks, or 2 breaks, but yes. So we're going to be back for probably another 30 minutes when I get back. Let me switch over to full screen. So at least Lewis Fuller stopped on by tonight. All the rest of the mods are enjoying their night. No worries. It's all good. Okay, let me cue up some music here. What do I want to play? Okay. Let me see here. All right. I know. I got to lead back in with a blast from the past. I do that every so often. All right, folks, I'm going to step away for another 5 to 7 or 8 minute break. When I come back, we're going to finish up this wonderful blog, and we're discussing tonight, we are discussing, does the truth matter to you, or do you prefer to live in a false sense of reality? And this blog's been interesting because it's been more so catering towards, how our youth is growing up with this, but it's also affecting each and every one of us, all the rest of us as well, even us grown adults. So stick around, folks. We'll be right back. Oh, yeah, all right. Get those hands up. Get those hands up. Get them up. Move them around. Shake your body. Loosen those muscles. Get those endorphins flowing, flowing, flowing. Feel it. Feel the groove, feel the rhythm and the beat, and feel real good. Most importantly, feel real good. Yeah. Yeah, wow. Where's everyone tonight? What are you all up to? Are you sleeping early? Are you investing yourself in drama instead of learning something positive to do with your life? Choice is yours. You want to watch drama on YouTube? There's plenty of it. Trust me on that. I'm done with that. I just want to feel good. Oh, here we go! The Coach Eli theme song from my old channel. Oh my God, Ethan Mixel, Double Helix. Oh yeah! Yeah! I love this song. I love it, love it, love it. Feel it, feel it, feel it, feel it. Woo! This song pumps me up. Pumps me up, pumps me up, 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 up. Energy up, energy up, energy up, energy up. Feel the energy. I know it's after midnight on the East Coast, but hey, you still have plenty of energy, don't you? If not, I'll give it to you. I'll give it to all of you. I've got plenty of it to give. Oh. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. All right, all right, all right. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back to Navigating the Modern World with Coach Eli live here on YouTube. And we're entering the third segment of the show, the third and final segment with my favorite song from the YouTube audio library, a song that I used to use on my former channel for a show I used to run called Coach Eli Live. Love it, love it, love it. It really fires me up, and I hope it fires you up as well. It is after midnight on the East Coast. It is 12:13 a.m. Eastern Time, 9:13 p.m. 9:13 p.m. Pacific Time here on the West Coast in California, where I'm at, San Francisco Bay Area. I hope you're all having a great night. And hope you're all doing well. Thanksgiving's right around the corner. Hope you spend some time with your friends and family. And please be safe. Please be safe and wear masks even with your family members. You do not want to get anyone sick or get sick yourself. Do whatever you can to slow the spread. Be responsible, folks. Be responsible. We've got many, many cases on the rise in the U.S. Over the past couple of weeks, the numbers have gone up in astronomical ways, which is what I'm trying to say. And, there are some vaccines that seem pretty promising. And by next year, first quarter, second quarter at the latest, the majority of people, will be getting vaccinated. Now, I'm going to say one thing about that right now. I know there are a lot of conservative people out there that are saying, I'm not taking any vaccine. Well, why not? Why are you not going to take a vaccine that is going to prevent you from getting sick or prevent someone else from getting sick? I don't understand some people regarding the ways that they want to live their lives just because they have a difference of opinion of how some people in the political realm do things. It's ridiculous, and it shouldn't be about the political world. It should be about what's right for the best overall aspect of everyone. So yeah, it is just my opinion here that everyone should get vaccinated when the vaccines are released, and that way we can get back to some level of normalcy in our world and put this thing behind us. Anyway, all right, folks, let's get to the final part of this blog here. I've been on for an hour and 54 minutes. This is one of the longest shows that I've done in a while. So let's just get right back to it here. Let's switch back to the browser source, and it made the transition nice and smooth that time. Oh, okay. OBS, you're working very well right now. Okay, got it. All right. Let me just grab a sip of my drink so my throat's not dry. All right. How uncomfortable and insecure, then, our children must feel. Yeah, of course. Because they're dependent on digital devices to make themselves feel better. Because they're not getting the nurturing love at home. They're not learning from the parents. They're not hanging out in a family setting. They're sitting in their room all day and all night on their smartphone or their laptop or desktop, communicating with the digital version of people. Whatever approval kids may receive from one another is fleeting, fickle, and unreliable. Well, a lot of times people do things online to get a reaction. They do it, adults do it to adults as well. You have people out here on YouTube that, will do stupid things when they know somebody's live streaming and they have their public information. They'll do stupid things in the middle of the show to try and distract them. And it's pretty pathetic, in my opinion. And you got to learn how to ignore those things and not let them affect you from running your show. It's the same thing with these kids, online. Other kids are going to, intentionally do things to other kids just to get a reaction, not just from the kid that they're, cyberbullying, for example, but they want to get attention from another group of people. And see, here's the thing. The best way to stop cyberbullying is to ignore it and not feed into it, because that's what the cyberbully wants. The cyberbully wants you to react to it and feed into it. And if you don't, they have nothing. They'll keep trying and trying and trying for a little while. Trust me, they don't stop right away. They'll keep trying. They'll even amp up what they do because they want to do whatever it takes to get you to crack. But if you're a rock like me, or you become a rock like me, and all of you, male or female, are capable of becoming a rock like me, you ignore all of it. Eventually, they'll get tired of doing it because it's not going to be effective. That's all you got to do. That's it. Bottom line. Friends are not real friends. Well, yeah, they're digital characters. That's the bottom line. That's the whole point of this thing, right? They're all living in a false sense of reality, like the topic of this stream, the topic or the title of this blog. And any embarrassment is amplified, sure, because they want a reaction, like I just said. It's a game. It's entertainment. It's entertainment to a bunch of insecure people that have been raised with a digital device in their hand instead of being taught old school, in-person, traditional morals, values, and ethics. That's the bottom line. So any embarrassment is amplified, shared universally. Like, yeah, that's what I was just saying. Shared universally. Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Google, all over. Messaging apps, all that. Anything to get a reaction. Anything to get a reaction is what the bully does. Because they're insecure in themselves and they need to get a reaction from you to feel good about themselves, like it makes them feel like they've accomplished something. In my opinion, it's pretty pathetic. It's extremely pathetic and inescapable. It's inescapable if you allow it to be inescapable. It is easily escapable if you just ignore it. Ignore it. Ignore. Don't let it get to you. It's a bunch of hogwash. What used to happen and be forgotten in a week when we were kids now lingers and taunts, right? Because once you put it out there, it's hard to remove it, especially if you put it on YouTube. YouTube, very rarely remove cyberbullying stuff. I'm not saying they don't do it, and I'm not saying that they're not trying to do it. There's so much of it going on with 500 hours of video uploaded every single minute on this platform. It's hard to moderate. So my advice to people out there that use social media, don't ever put anything public out there that you wouldn't want the whole world to see, meme, or mock. You could put up a regular nice picture of yourself. People can download it, screenshot it, put it through an editing program on their smartphone nowadays, make a meme, and then blast it everywhere. All right, so be it. Fine, go do it. Who cares? Make all the memes you want of me. I look at it as a term of endearment. Don't let it get to you. Ignore it. But if you want nothing to do with it, then you can never put anything out there online. It's just the way it is. Just got to learn how to deal with it. That's all. That's the bottom line. A cell phone snapshot can persist online forever. Of course, I was just saying that, right? And humiliate a child for years if they allow it to humiliate them. But when you're younger, you don't understand it as much as an adult like me does, right? And when kids are not developed, they're not as emotionally strong as they become when they get older. You parents have to teach them these things, and you're not teaching them. Instead, you're handing them a phone so you can have some time to yourself, some time with your husband or wife. You got to teach them this. You got to prepare them for this before you give them the phone. A lot of parents are like, "Oh my gosh, what's going on out there?" Instead of saying that, how about be proactive and say, "Okay, son, daughter, we live in a crazy modern digital world, and I just want you to know that there are some pretty crazy people out there that are going to try to kick you down. Don't let them get to you. Just ignore them. Don't put anything out there that you don't want them to rebroadcast or republish pictures, videos, etc. Make memes out of them. Anything you put out there can and will be used against you. And if you're not willing to accept that, son, daughter, then don't use social media at all. You gotta make that very clear. But parents are not doing that. They're not. There is no escape, no relief, no place to hide. It is cruel. Yeah, I know it is. I've been through it myself in my 40s out here on YouTube. How damaged will this generation be from the stress of performing for each other to avoid being unfriended? Right. If you have a disagreement nowadays with your best friend, they'll unfriend you on Facebook. All right, go ahead and unfriend me. You did me a favor, right? But to the young kids, again, they're not developed enough to understand it. Their emotions are not fully developed like an adult. But the funny thing is, some adults that are not as strong as me, they act like little kids when they get unfriended as well, which is even more pathetic. Further, not teaching the kids the right way to handle it because they themselves as adults are not handling it the right way as well. Social media is a sneaky little medium that hurts. The girl at the lunch table doesn't yet know she's the target of criticism by the other kids at the same table. Right. Because you as the parents didn't sit down and say, "Hey, look, this is what you're going to deal with. I want to prepare you, son and daughter, for what I know is going to happen." So that way, when it happens, you can handle it maturely and the right way and ignore it and not let it affect your life, right? That's the right way to do it. Be proactive. Take proactive measures. I've been saying that time and time again. I think what my next video tomorrow is going to be, taking proactive measures. Maybe that's what I'll do tomorrow night after recording my video from my walk in 4K at 60 frames per second. It's going to be a busy day of YouTube stuff tomorrow. The life of a YouTuber never ends, but you love it, right? I love it. So the need to stay on top of the latest artificial developments becomes paramount to kids. Of course, because if they don't know what's going on, the other kids will say, "Well, you're not in the know-all. You don't know anything. You're stupid, right? You're stupid, right?" That's what they'll do. Try to get a reaction from you. You don't have to know everything. And you're not stupid because someone says you're stupid. Just don't react to them. Or if you're going to react to them, say, okay, you think I'm stupid? Maybe I'm stupid. I'm probably stupid for, being your friend, right? That's probably what I would say. Or I just would ignore it and say, hey, you know what, dude, whatever. Have a good day. Bye. I'm out. Peace, right? No reaction, right? Who's in and who's out, and who said what, and what picture was posted, and what replies were sent becomes a constant obsession, right? I gotta mention Coach Corey Wayne one more time. A lot of times he says this in his video coaching newsletters. Rejection breeds obsession. Let me repeat that one more time. Rejection breeds obsession. Look, here's the thing, folks. If somebody rejects you, doesn't want to be your friend, doesn't want to go on a date with you, whatever, right? Hey, okay, cool. It's your choice. You're lost. No big deal. Have a good life. If you change your mind, you want to be friends or you want to go out in the future and I'm still around, give me a call and, we'll talk at that point. If not, take care. That's all you got to do. Don't let it get to you. Don't let it ruin your life. Keep moving forward. There are going to be other people that are going to want to be your friend and date you. Don't focus on the one or two people that are trying to ruin your life or are rejecting you. Come on, dog, right? Come on, dog, like some people say. I had to throw that one in there. It's all right. It gratifies immediately, defines group cohesion, quenches curiosity, excites, and motivates kids to check into their virtual experience nonstop or be left out of everything. Right, it gets addicting, doesn't it? It's all drama. See, what parents have to do nowadays is teach their kids to not get involved in endless drama. But let me tell you something. Drama is really hard to get out of once you get in it, because if you're a good person like me and you become a part of a drama group, typically it happens unknowingly, right? Like I became a part of this drama group on YouTube in the past, and I was a part of them for over 3 years. And I would go back and forth with them, trying to basically call them out on their stupidity and the wrong things they were doing. Until I realized that to these people that are running drama channels out here on YouTube, until I realized that it doesn't matter to them whether they're right or wrong or you're right or wrong. What matters to them is the back and forth, because the more back and forth drama there is, there's more drama to talk about on their channel and feed an audience of drama people that are donating to that creator. And some of these people even have, some of these creators even have sponsors that are paying them to incite drama on their channel. So until you realize that, you're going to feel like I used to feel like I want to get my say and try to, hey, you guys, are not doing things the right way. I want to help you guys. Can I help you guys? They don't want your help. They don't care about your help. They don't even want to help themselves, because they're playing a game to make money and to have an audience. In essence, they're living in a false sense of reality. That's the best way to put it, huh? Goes perfectly with the title, doesn't it, of the stream? It is a sad situation, made sadder because their parents are doing the exact same thing, modeling the exact same obsessions. Right! I've been saying that in different words all along. So if the parents are not holding the kids accountable and teaching them preventative measures, being proactive and making them aware of what's going to happen if you use social media in this way, because they're not doing that, in essence, they're enabling that behavior. That's why many millennials out there turned out the way they did, because their parents are the same way. You got these millennials now. So I'm not saying all of them have gone through this. I'm not saying even any of them are bad. What I'm saying is that they weren't raised with traditional morals, values, and ethics. which has made them struggle in many aspects of the basics of life. And a lot of these millennials nowadays get involved with a lot of drama because they know nothing else, because they weren't taught how to avoid drama and live a positive life instead. Pretty sad to me. I don't even know if I can say it's pathetic, and it is pathetic, but more so, it's pretty sad. Can I really blame a lot of the millennials? Probably not. Maybe some, but not all. The majority of the blame goes to the parents. That, just like the blog author said here, it is a sad situation made sadder because their parents are doing the exact same thing, modeling the exact same obsessions. Oh, yeah. Seeking artificial validation not only results in addictive, destructive behaviors, it also displaces the very experiences that would otherwise offer us authentic validation. Right. So all of these kids are getting a false sense of validation through these smartphones and these digital devices, right? Instead of getting real, authentic validation from real humans in real life, such as their parents, their friends in real life, etc. It's pretty sad. Fortunately for me, I grew up during a different time before all these devices came out. So now that we have these devices, and I myself love the convenience of them, I don't overdo it. I use it when I need to use it, and when I'm hanging out with people, I give them my undivided attention. Now, sure, we all are going to look at our phones every so often to see if some emergency happens, right? But we're not sitting there every 3 seconds. We're not sitting there, hey, how you doing, dude? Oh, let me keep my eye on the phone in case something pops up every 2 seconds there. No, we're not doing that. But many of these young ones know nothing different. Like they're addicted to this for their validation. Actual experiences are no longer valued over virtual ones. Right. In other words, I've been saying that all along. Actual experiences are no longer valued over virtual ones. Wow, this is a great article. My family had an outdoor adventure party not long ago that featured a huge boa constrictor. That's a big snake. Hissing cockroaches and a bearded dragon lizard. Wow. It sounds like fun. Although encouraged by the handler, there was a handler, that's good, because those are some pretty dangerous creatures. None of the 11-year-old kids at the party would even touch the critters. Of course not. They're fearing that they're going to get bit or hurt, right? Instead, they pulled out their cell phones, right, and took pictures of them. Yeah, it's funny. It's funny to the point of where you're going to see something like this with the critters, right, at an event. And then what happens? You get a bunch of these kids, and then they go like this. They're like, or like this. But most of them go like this because they don't know how to take real pictures, right? Most of them will take the selfie portrait mode picture, which is not even really true portrait mode. They just call it that. This is the way you take pictures, landscape. That's the way you take pictures. Not like this, but this is what they do. They're like, and they just keep snapping pictures, right? I failed to even mention one of the best parts of having a smartphone nowadays. It's like a digital camera. They have a digital camera on there as well. You take pictures, right? And then immediately post them to Facebook or Instagram or wherever with a touch of a button. Wow. Okay. They didn't want to actually experience what a snake or lizard felt like. Right. It's all about taking the picture and sending it to the friends that weren't there to get more validation digitally. They just wanted to show their friends the cool snake pictures. Right. I just said that. We agree. How much longer do we have? This is a pretty long one. We're almost done. All right. Even common interactions are now being avoided because of these devices and replaced with disingenuous placations. Yeah, I've been saying that all along. The smartphone is replacing real life. Technology enables us to avoid conversation, confrontation, rejection, disapproval, and honesty. I said at the beginning of when I started critiquing this. Why ask somebody on the date in the real world when you can just go on a dating app and message 100 people, and if 5 respond to you, then maybe 2 will give you their number, and you talk to those 2 on the phone, and maybe you meet 1, and then it works out, right? Why do you have to go out there and talk with people in the real world when, you have to face rejection, which is a normal part of life? These kids have no idea what rejection really even means because they won't even allow themselves to feel it, to understand it. These smartphones are like a safety net. We can avoid any personal risk, ensuring we are always liked. I got to repeat that one more time. We can avoid any personal risk, ensuring we are always liked. Click the like button. By the way, please like this video. Please like this video if you're getting value out of it. Dislike it if you don't like me. It doesn't matter. Or like the video or like me. Like it if you like it. Dislike it if you dislike it. It's all good. Either way, it doesn't matter to me. It's all engagement. It's all good. An emoticon parades as an emotion. Right. We've got emoticons now. I got people, especially the women, love to do this. They'll send you these like crying emojis or happy emojis, or this 100, keep it real, we'll keep it 100 emoji, right? I'll send them a few times every now and then as a joke, right? But I'm like, this is ridiculous, man. It's like we can't get on the phone and feel emotion. We can't meet in person and see the emotion, right? And feel it and see it in person. But we're going to send a picture of an emoticon to share with someone how we're currently feeling in a digital way. That is so special. A series of exclamation marks masquerades as enthusiasm. That's right. It's not just one exclamation point, it's 10. Boom, 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 right? Boom, boom. Multiple exclamation points, not just one. We LOL when we don't even think it's funny. Right. We LOL because we don't want to offend the person that what they just sent us was pretty stupid, right? That's the secret right there. Yeah, the LOLs are just bogus. My LOLs, whenever I send LOLs, they're just all full of sarcasm because I know how ridiculous it is to even text someone LOL. I remember when I got my first LOL many years ago, I was like, what's this lull? What's this LOL, right? Now they call them lulls, right? LULZ or whatever, right? What's this LOL mean? Oh, you don't know, stands for laughing out loud. So you're telling me that instead of just sending me a text saying, I'm laughing out loud, you're just going to say LOL. Yeah, it's short code. It's much easier. Okay, so we're just super freaking lazy right now, right? Yeah, we are. LOL. I use it too now, but it's more as a sarcastic reply for me because I think it's just really stupid in my opinion. It's just non-human. It's just not human at all. We LOL when we don't even think it's funny. How can a whole healthy person of any age develop or thrive under these circumstances? Right! You can't develop or thrive under these circumstances. It's comical to me because I'm a 46, almost 47-year-old grown man. I'll be 47 next month. It's extremely comical to me. Very comical. All right. Let me check out the chat real quick. I don't think there's anyone here. It's pretty late. Okay. We are bankrupting our spirits, our relationships, and our society. Peace and quiet are the new enemies of happiness. Right. If it's too quiet, nothing's going on, I'm not popular enough. I got to stir up the drama pot and get more excitement going, right? We need so much constant distraction these days to avoid our own realities. Right, because you're living in a false sense of reality. That gas stations now have television screens on the pumps. Why? Why do we need a television screen at a gas station pump? So that we can maintain the constant stimulation we had in our cars, in our homes, in our offices. I tell you, when I'm going away with, a friend or my activity partner, whenever we're in the car, my car driving, I put on Pandora and some music through, Apple CarPlay. And sure, it shows the artist and the title of the song on the screen, right? That's a cool part of it. It's nice to have that little touch screen. But at the same time, I put on the GPS and it shows it right on the Apple CarPlay screen, the screen that also has a reverse camera in the car. And I have conversations with her, or if I'm going somewhere with a few of my friends or a friend of mine, we have the music in the background low and we talk. The best part of taking a nice drive, especially if it's a long drive to get somewhere, is you have time to actually have a real life interaction with somebody. There's nothing better than that. There's no better feeling than that. I value that even to this day more than anything that these digital devices can give us. Schools are encouraging ever more use of screens for communication among students, right? Because they want to save paper and money and time, who are sitting next to each other in class. Well, when schools are encouraging it too, because it saves them money, it saves trees, time, you can't escape it, right? If you can't escape it and you're a kid growing up with it all day, every day, how are you going to learn how to live outside of it? Which is the whole point of life. False sense of reality. With eyes on screens, we are not looking at each other. We are not noticing anything on or anybody around us. Right. We're distracted all the freaking time. So our children are losing the ability to converse or to cope with emotions. Right. They base their emotions on how many likes they get. Right. Like we talked about earlier. That's just one aspect. There are many more, but that's just one. So once again, our children are losing the ability to converse or to cope with emotions, their own or anyone else's. They require constant noise and colorful moving pictures, or they are immediately irritated, bored, and increasingly they are anxious, depressed, suicidal, etc. They are out of touch with their own hearts and minds, with each other and the natural world around them. It's sad. That sums it up in a nutshell right there. Sums it up. Couldn't have said it better myself. They are out of touch with themselves and the world. To put it, in very, very simple, plain words, plain terms. They are out of touch with themselves and the world. And if you're not in touch with yourself, how could you ever be capable of being in touch with the world? Like I've said all along to people, I say this practically every day and I mean it. If you don't love yourself deep within, love who you are, love every aspect of you, how can you expect other people to love you? How can you expect other people to be attracted to you and love who you are? Just think about that. Would you want to hang around someone that doesn't love themselves or hates themselves? Now, don't get me wrong. We're not talking about somebody who's selfish and inconsiderate of your feelings, or someone that makes it all about them. We're saying that this person loves himself deep within in a non-selfish way, And what they project to the universe is happiness because they're happy within themselves. And they want to share that happiness with you without coming out and saying, yeah, I love myself, so you should love me too, right? They're not going to say that. They're going to basically project that happiness. And you're going to feel it. You're going to be like, I want to be around this person because they're a happy, easygoing person. Bottom line. Limit screen time? Absolutely, yeah. You could do it within your app. Most phone carriers, you can go on the website or through your app. Like I have my AT&T app on my phone and I can access it from the web. There are so many options there for parental controls that you could use. Use them. We must save our children's retinas from blue light, protect them from myopia, get them a good night's sleep, and insist they go outside and play. Right. We've all known this for a while. Why are we not teaching our kids this? Because parents nowadays are using these digital devices to keep their kids so occupied throughout the day so that way they have more time to breathe, more time for the husband and wife to spend time with each other, right? And what they're not realizing is that they're harming their kids more than helping them. And if they do realize that they're harming their kids, but they still just want to keep them occupied to spend time together, that's pretty damn selfish. Then why have kids, right? If you're going to have kids, that's your top priority. Like when you're married, if you're married and you're a husband and a wife and you love each other, once you have kids, your top priority is not each other. It's your kids. Then you still have to keep the fire burning in your relationship. Don't get me wrong. You still got to have time for intimacy and find that time, right? But no longer is it just you two. It is you two and whatever amount of kids you have in your household. They are your top priority. They are priority over you two taking more time to just snuggle up in the bedroom and have some fun. You can find time for fun later on when everyone's asleep. But during the middle of the day or in the evening, you got to be there for your kids and you got to teach them morals, values, and ethics. And that's not happening. We must make sure their growing muscles and bones aren't twisted and bent from staring into ill-fitting equipment. Right. We must demand that schools live up to their legal obligation to provide safe and healthy classrooms. Right. Absolutely right. Nothing to add to that. Perfectly stated. Nothing to add to that. But the price to be paid by our children because of these devices needs to be understood beyond the damage to their bodies. We need to consider our children's humanity and perspectives, their spirits. Absolutely. Absolutely. We must turn off these devices and teach our children how to build true friendships. I've been saying that all along. Sounds like a broken record. Maybe that's why it sounds like the same things are being repeated throughout this blog, because maybe that's what it's going to take for parents to get the hint on how to better raise their kids, to get them out of this mess that we've all put them in, that you've all put them in. Cope with actual challenges, explore their own emotions, contribute, appreciate. Where's appreciation nowadays? Nobody appreciates anybody because it's all on a digital device. How do you appreciate someone digitally? You can't. You can't. Appreciate the natural world and enjoy the rich, meaningful experiences of real life. These devices were made to set appointments, to set dates, to make it easy to communicate with people, to set up times to hang out. Once you use the phone to set up a time to hang out with these people, sure, use the texting app, use whatever app, call them on the phone, FaceTime, whatever you want to use that to say, hey, let's hang out tomorrow. But once you start hanging out, don't sit there on your phone the entire time. Enjoy your time with that person or those people. Enjoy the activity at hand that you use the phone to set up that activity with or through. All right. That's it, folks. Wow, we are at 2 hours and 29 minutes. One of the longest streams that I've done in quite some time. I'm going to go back to full screen. And I'm going to wrap it up by saying this. It's up to you, each and every one of you, how you want to live your life or lives. No one has the right to tell you how to live your life, and I certainly am not going to try to tell you how to live your life. What I do is I share what's worked for me. What I do is I put things out there that make sense for the overall aspect of normal humanity. It's up to you, each and every one of you, to dig deep within yourselves to figure out if you're living life as best as you possibly can live it in the way it was meant to be lived. You have to figure that out on your own before you be open to anyone else making any even minor suggestions on how to make it even a little better, which is what I do over here. I really hope that eventually more and more people in this world start to realize how much more the truth will set you free, and it will make you prevail. It'll help you get further ahead. Be real with yourself. Don't live in a false sense of reality. If you live your life in a false sense of reality because it's getting you more attention than you've ever had, the moment that people figure out who you really are, if they ever figure it out, which they probably will, then that attention you're getting because you're living your life with a false sense of reality is going to go away. And how are you going to combat that? Are you going to create an additional false sense of reality on top of that already false sense of reality you tried to put out there just to get people to like you and have attention and all eyes on you? The best thing to do is be you. Be yourself. And you know what? If you're yourself, sometimes you may be alone for a while. Sometimes you're not going to have a lot of people that want to be around you. Not because you're not worth it, because they just haven't realized it yet. People haven't realized who you really are or what the value would be to invest time in you. And I'll wrap up by saying this. I just did a show tonight that was 2 hours and 32 minutes long. There weren't a lot of people on this show. The back end of YouTube tells me I have 108 playbacks. A lot of those will probably be scaled back. I'll probably have 80 after this show ends because of trolls and duplicate accounts and all that. I've got 6 people here right now. It's not a whole heck of a lot. But you want to know something? I'm okay with that. Because like I said earlier, I'm not going to judge myself on a number. I used to be that hard on myself. I'm not. I'm going to continue doing what I enjoy doing. This is what I love doing. This is who I am. And if there are ever going to be any people out there that really appreciate me for the way I am, that's what's going to more so build my following. And if it doesn't happen out here on YouTube, then you know what? Maybe it wasn't meant to be. That doesn't mean I suck. It doesn't mean that I don't know what I'm talking about. It just means it wasn't meant to be. Sometimes certain things are just not meant to be. That's all it is. But I'm happy within myself. I'm happy, and thank you to the 7 people that are currently watching right now. I appreciate you. That's 7 more than 0. And that's the way you have to look at it, folks. Things aren't always going to go your way. That's part of life. When things don't go your way, don't let that get to you. Don't let that stop you from continuing to move forward regarding anything that you want to. I got distracted because Alex just came in the chat. Regarding anything that you want to accomplish in life, anything that your heart desires. And that's where I'm going to wrap up this show today at 2 hours and 34, almost 2 hours and 35 minutes. Just turned 2 hours and 35 minutes. Alex, the Beer Master's in the house, says, what's up, Eli? Not much, Alex. I'm about to get out of here. I've been on for 2.5 hours. And I'm just going to go rest and relax. And tomorrow I've got a big video to record in 4K at 60 frames per second. I got a new app that's going to be able to do it with no errors and all synced up properly between the audio and video. So just rocking and rolling, bro. But yeah, I'm just about to get out of here. Thank you for stopping by, man. I hope all is well for you. If I don't see you on a stream before Thanksgiving, which is less than 2 days away, the day after tomorrow. Well, actually, where you're at, I believe it's already after midnight. It's already, Wednesday, November 25th, still the 24th here on the West Coast. But if I don't see you tomorrow, Alex, happy Thanksgiving to you and your family. And again, happy Thanksgiving to everyone out there. All right, folks, I'm going to get on out of here. Thank you to Lewis Fuller for being here earlier tonight. And thank you to Alex, the Beer Master, for stopping in. Thank you so much, bro. And thank you to everyone else that was watching behind the scenes. Have yourselves a great night, and I will see you all next time. Take care. Bye. Bye.